Please just work. Right, it seems, although we've got it working, but I'm 100%. The zebra's left the room and Benny's left the room. Doesn't look promising, but we'll just trudge on, I think. But this could end in a disaster, I'm not gonna lie. As we're looking at Dory in a minute, I'm just gonna... Dory's lagging all over the place, like. Mick's out there, Blackie. Needs Lexus. Well, this is what the pre-season race is for. See if it bloody works. I'm having massive problems with viewing Fodbold at the minute. The minute ago he was flying in the sky and now he's just... Oh well, we might be joining another lobby here. But apparently Mick set the fastest time. Which I don't find quite hard to believe. He's not even in the session. But George is 4 times up big going. There's a .4. Okay. Well, it turns out we're joining Benny after all, because Mick has managed to get into Benny's session. So it might work better in him, I don't know. So hopefully now we'll have no problem in seeing people. Apparently football fan has joined the session and I can't see him again. If that's the case, I'll leave and join back, but... Because I seem to have quite a few issues in viewing FOD in a minute. See everybody else, just not footballed. So what I'll do is... Since I can't view football for some reason, I'm going to leave and join back. But hopefully this will be it this time. Fingers crossed. Go. Fingers crossed it works. It worked last time. Oh. Oh, look at this. Let's have a look. We can see football this time, but we can't see football as that isn't the case. So I don't know what is, but football. Oh my god, as the zebra has crashed. I'm just reading the back of their cars. But my tip for pole is probably football, but obviously we'll never know. But George is someone that could do it. Apparently Mick's done a 55.2, but that's impossible because there's no time he'd have done that. So let's hope someone beats that and then we'll know. As they go to start their laps for the first time. And George is somebody that is going to be tipped for pole. Obviously, he hasn't raced a lot recently. He's returned this season under my team name. Obviously, SLR Blue, this one. And obviously, then we've got a few people not here. Psychodynamic, for example. And CYP, who unfortunately can't race at the minute. Hopefully, he'll be back for the first round, if not the second. And then there will probably be Raoul as well, who's not been able to attend this week as he is away himself. But George apparently has gone pole, but Mick hasn't even done a lap yet, and apparently he's on pole. But Ben Gallagher has done a 54.5, so that's a fully representative lap. I don't think George has actually set a lap as of yet. But we'll have to wait and see. Benny obviously in the orange team. He's with CYP and Raoul, obviously both not here this week, but next week will be. It'd be interesting to see if Benny can recapture his form from last season. Obviously there's a few people who can't see, like Fodbold, unfortunately. So we're really down to 9. Oh, what's wrong with my cameras? You got stuck in the pitch for some reason. Well, there's Fodpole, but that's not what he's actually doing. He'll be out there on track somewhere. Dylan's also really quick as he goes very close to George, who did a 55.7 on his first lap. So nothing particularly special from him. Mick 55.2 as his first lap, which isn't really his first lap, he just got that, inherited it for some reason. But he's doing a 55.5. And Ben obviously is on pole now by 7/10 with 54.5. So a really good lap from him. Depends who could string it together. Dylan Curtin is Curtin. We'll call him Dylan Curtin. Yeah. I thought it was Crouton. Curtin. We'll call him Dylan Curtin for this. As he's going purple at the minute, but I think that ran out. We'll have to wait and see, because these tyres aren't very good for very long. His first lap was 55.8, so not particularly special. He's gonna do a couple of laps, then pit again. So if he is going purple, I think he'll stick with it, but we'll have to wait and see, as he's got another 30 seconds left on the lap. It's 55.8 so far. And he's improving by 9/10 on that 55.8, so he's going to get in the 54s if he carries on at this pace. Depends how bad he's lost 6 to us on that really good lap, on his previous lap, should I say, on his fastest, compared to this one. Depends where he will be able to get back pole position as he comes across the line now, and it's 54.8, so he improved by a second, and he just goes in behind Ben, with Mick in third to make it a team consistency 1, 2, 3, and Mick's lap wasn't really his lap either. As George will be hoping to break that. Obviously there's 9 minutes left in qualifying. Qualifying will end at past on my time. So it looks like Black November's going purple apparently, but I think he's only just coming out of the pits. But apparently he is. He might be. I mean, you never know what times these guys can do. But it looks like Blackie is going pretty quick. Obviously, Black November hasn't, and he says he's purple by over 1/10.5. A stricken Fodbold on the right hand side. Obviously, that's not a Fodbold. Fodbold will be going around the track. It probably is in pole right now. But I don't know that. Whereas Black November's now 2/10 in the pole, which is fairly interesting if he goes to pole. He sets the cat amongst the pigeons, because he hasn't really been anywhere any of time, really. I think he might have got a podium at some point, but hasn't really been anywhere near the top lot. As he comes across the line now, there's Black November, and he goes to second place. A 10th ahead of Dylan Crouton, and a 10th behind Ben Gallagher. He was on for pole, but he kind of slipped in behind. In the end, I think Mick's given up already. George is going purple at the minute, which doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But I don't think Ben is at the minute. Well, we don't know yet. If he will be going for that pole position, as my voice keeps drying out, unfortunately. That'll be a continued problem with this commentary. But it looks like Dylan, Ben, I think he's pitted on Black November, that's fine. As Mocky Meeks manages to get in a 55.1. With Mick in that 55.2, so he's broken that with Black November as well, breaking that 1, 2, 3 that the team consistency had there. But the person we should really be watching is George. What can he do? He's really been the fastest in the practice. It's just about what he can do with his lap. He runs really wide in the last corner. I don't know if that'll help him. He's coming into the pit, so he's giving up on the lap. There's no doubt he can improve on what he has. He just needs to get it together. He hasn't got long to do it either. And but another person who's struggling is Benny, down in 8th. Hasn't been quick. As fast as a 2-minute flat. Only ahead of Dorian at football that's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Benny's got a penalty, so that's the end of that lap. And George has lost the car, and he's in the wall, and he's got a hell of a lot of damage. So that's the end of that for George, and that could be the end of qualifying for George as well, if he's not careful. Might get one more lap. But he really needs to string it together. And I dread to think where football might be at the minute. He might be on pole for all I know. I mean, I don't actually know. But as far as I know, Ben Gallagher's on pole. With Black November in 2nd, Dylan Curtin in 3rd, as George scrapes the wall. My dog is annoying me now. Hello, doggy. Are you sniffing me? Boop. Boop. Touching the dog's nose. Benny is in the pits, and the only person not to beat Benny really is the man, the myth, the legend, Bold. We obviously will not be seeing anything of him in this qualifying session. I'm not sure we'll see a lot of him in the race either. We don't know that though. There's the Zebra. There's somebody that shows a lot of promise in other leagues, but hasn't really done anything with us at the minute. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time if he shows his potential. And he's Lexus. A black and blue one with an anime character on it as he puts it in the wall, which will give him a lot of damage. And he's got Black November behind him. And the Zebra has missed his braking point slightly, as we're coming to the end of the session now. This is last chance saloon really. George, it'll be touch and go before if he gets a lap in. I think he might just. Let me have a look at the clock. Oh, I don't think he will actually. It's getting very close. But Mocking Weeks has managed to get himself into P4, and that's a really good performance from him. Obviously, this is what he's capable of in GT, and he's also probably capable in F1. He just hasn't shown it so far this season in either, as Dylan is in the pits getting refueled up, but I don't think he'll get another run in. It's Black November now. Is on track and well placed, to be honest, to get that second lap in. As George is flying around as well, he's going to be very, very, very close. With Ben obviously in that pole position at the minute, and it hates me to say that, but he's deserved it. And he gets out of the way, and I think Ben's done his run. Just who gets the best lap? Apparently Black November's in 2nd. I find that quite hard to believe, to be honest, but it could be possible. Maybe no one's done a good lap. We don't know, but he struggled in the qualification. Like I say that, he struggled really much. I think he finished 6th and just about scraped in by about, I think it was like 4 or 5 tenths in the end, but he did enough, just about. He didn't do very well though. But he's well placed to do another lap. Ben's there. And George is also in a good place to finish his lap as well, I think. He's got 1 minute, so it's going to be touch and go. Very touch and go, and he's gone purple by 3/10. He's going for it, and he knows he has to because he doesn't have a lot of time to dilly-dally right now, does George? Is anyone else going in that purple? I mean, there's Ben in behind, but I don't think he's doing anything particularly special. It's all about George, who's on his best lap, and could be getting pole now. And he's up by 4/10 on Ben's lap. And this is the one he was wanting earlier on, and unfortunately just couldn't get it together. But it seems to be coming together now, but he's only got, let's say, the best of 15 seconds to complete it, and then he probably got another 10 on top of that when Benny starts the final. So that's gonna not give him too much time. As it now ticks over to half past. He needs another 30 seconds, does George. Is he going to get it? He's just going to keep on pushing along. He's half a second up, is George. Benny's about to try and start it. Oh, and I think George is just going to run out of time as he comes around the final corner. And that is the difference between pole position for George Porridge. How unlucky is that? 3 more seconds and he'd have had it. But it seems like Fodbold's on pole. Oh. Well, maybe he did put the pole lap in. I don't know what that lap was. But on my screen, he didn't do anything. So hopefully we might be able to view him in the race. We'll have to wait and see. We don't know. But on my screen he wasn't even qualifying. And yeah, we don't even know if he'll be winning the race, because yeah. All that we know is in first apparently. With Ben there. Well, this is a great camera view. I can't change the camera view! Oh, this is a disaster. I can't change the camera view! Oh no. Right, I might have to leave the session here. This is a disaster. Well, this game is broken. I'll be back in a second, guys. I don't know what's happening in the race, but I can only assume it's exciting, but who is Minimum? How would you know? Insider knowledge. I mean, I'd like to think Fodbold would win, but I don't know. You can't tell. I can only commentate on what I see, and when I can't see anything, it's slightly difficult. Oh. Oh my word. Will this game actually work? Look, I'm pressed. Oh, get me in. Well, at least it took Fodbold. Oh my god. He just stops his car. Well, apparently Ben is in the lead with Black November here, having a go. And it looks like Black November's got the position on Ben. And Ben is slipped behind Black November. I don't know if Black November is winning or not. Apparently, what is going on? Oh, how am I meant to commentate on this? Ben's there. So Ben is in second, with Mick in behind Zebra, Benny, and George all the way back there, Dory, and Mocky Mix is all the way, or Dylan's all the way back there, with Mocky Mix, I think, having a lot of trouble. So I think them two might have come together. But Ben and Black November are together. And then we've got Mick in behind with a 5-second penalty. The Fodbold sat in the middle of the road. I mean, this is a joke. Yeah, then we've got Benny with 4-second penalty, George in behind him, and then Dory a bit back. But the Zebra's looking fairly fast. As Ben makes a mistake, and it looks like Mick is being able to pounce on that mistake. So now Ben slips in behind his teammate for team consistency, as it looks like George has made a move on Benny. I can only presume that Fodbold is winning this race. As I'm having some serious fun. I could view him the other day, no problem. Tonight, no. As George seems to win purple by 99 seconds, I don't think that's true either. Although I've been proved wrong on many occasions. But I'm quite surprised that Black November's managed to keep himself up there. Maybe he likes his track, or he's got a good setup. I'm not sure. But Mick's getting rid of his 5-second penalty fairly quickly. As it seems like Black November is leading this race. Ben in 3rd, Zebra 4th, George 5th, and I can only presume that Fodbold's winning. But George is actually catching really quickly to Zebra. So I expect them two to be fighting fairly shortly. There's Dory, I think Benny's had damage. Yeah. Mockingbird has damage. Fodbold has every damage going. I don't know if that's real or not, but apparently he's got engine damage as well. But Mick is looking at Black November for the lead of this race. We're going to say he's the lead of the race, even though it's not. But here goes Mick on Black November. He has to back out a little bit. Ben in behind looks like he's bottled it again. But Black November holds stern for now. The Zebra has ran to Narnia, and that's around George to fly straight past and take that 4th place straight back off him. And Mick is looking at Black November down the inside, and he backs out of that one that time. And the lap times, Black November's on 55, so he's holding the whole pack up at the minute. Although Ben struggled on the last lap. George did a 54.9, so he'll be catching these two slightly. So the pack should be closing, I think, on Black November. He just simply doesn't have the pace. But Blackie seems to be doing okay. He seems fairly comfortable holding Mick off at the minute, but that could all change as we go on to lap. What lap are we on? 4. I don't even know what lap we're on. Great. As Mick, I think George has had a bit of a bad lap anyway, apparently. I think he's slipped a bit behind. 3.5 behind. Oh, here goes Mick on Black November. Down the inside goes Mick. Black November tries holding it round the outside. The Stirling customer is Black November. You don't really want to battle in him, I'm not going to lie. Especially for this kind of position. It might be easy jumping him in the pits or something when the tyres start to go, but he has to make the move. Here comes Ben Gallagher. I mean, look, he's steaming. There's Fodbold. Look, everyone driving straight through him. But here goes Ben on his teammate. This is going to have Black November to get away slightly, I think. Mick backs out. Oh, Ben. Mick has hit Ben. He says don't hit him, and he's hit his own teammate. I mean, he made deliveries and he still managed to hit the bloody back of of Ben Gallagher there. And it's allowed George to catch about a second. There's a lot, and here goes Ben now. Round 2, ding 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 on Black November. It looks like Black November is going to firmly shut the door and keep that position. And Mick looks like he wants to have another go, but here comes George. He can smell blood. Dylan Curtin is quite a way behind. The Zebra's coming to the pits as well. So I wonder what strategy is on. I know George is on a 2-stop because he told me. Although I think a 1-stop might be possible for him. But everyone keeps being in behind Black November at the minute. They're all just tucking in behind. But although Ben has got an almighty run compared to Black November there. But George is caught up by nearly 2 seconds a lap. He can't afford to be behind him much longer. Will Ben try it down the inside? No, Black November shuts that door firmly. As Mick has dropped off these two. But it's all that Black November has to worry about now is Ben at this point. But Black November's laps horrific. A 157.1, a 157.5 actually for the last lap, whereas Ben has really suffered himself behind Black November as he tried it down the inside. Didn't make it work. George has actually managed to get past Mick for P4, but Mick is trying to go straight back past, but he's only going backwards, I think. As Dylan still got that penalty. Benny's in the pits again with Zebra again. Zebra's got all sorts of problems. But Black November is still managing to hold Ben off, and he must be getting very mad at the minute. But here comes George. I mean, if anyone can get past Black November, it'll be George. He's stupid enough to make that move, I think. I think Ben will just keep it nice and tidy and just try and hold position for now. Then outpace him, either undercut or overcut, which would be the smart move. I think George is the one who, if he is going to make a move on track, it'll be him. Because he's in the mid 54s at the minute. He's way too quick for Mick at the minute. Obviously Mick's got that little bit of damage, so that might be costing him. I'm not saying he's actually a bad driver, I think that damage might be costing him. Because he's 58 last lap. But Ben has been held off by Black November quite nicely this lap. But will the slipstream do anything for Ben? As Black November taps the wall slightly, and I think Ben is going to get him this time round. As he pulls out from the slipstream, Black November tries to go as defensive as possible. Ben gives him the squeeze, and Black November has to concede the position, I think, unless he can get the slipstream. He hits the wall, and that might allow, and I think George is a bit too far back. But Ben, who I said I don't think he had the balls to make the move, has made that move on Black November now. So Black November 6 in behind Ben. And the big thing for Black November now is not to lose his bottle, because he's got two very fast drivers behind him who could easily just pick him off. But Dylan Curtin has set the fastest lap by quite a bit as well, 53.7. And he's slowly dragging himself into this battle. But here goes George on Black November. It doesn't look like he's going to make that move in this sweeping left-hander. It's a really nice track. This is very. It's not very. It's a very technical track, but yet it's high speed as well, which makes it very interesting. I think Ben's slightly pulling away from Black November, but it's all about what George can do on Black November. He needs to make. If he wants to make a move on Ben, he's got to make it pretty quick, or have the right strategy to jump Ben. And I think he's pretty confident on both of them fronts. But it looks like he's got a better line than Blackie on that corner, but not by much. And also it depends on who gets the damage, more damage as well, because Ben could easily just lose the back end there and put it in a barrier, and that's the last thing he wants to do. And Black November and Ben both pit for their first stops, and Black November's actually got a 6-second penalty. I don't know what he got that for, but he's got it. And George will take the lead of the race. Dylan comes into the pits as well, and I think everyone is, including Mick. So George stays out. Will it be a mistake? Depends what kind of lap he can put out there. But Dylan's still in the pits still. Black November's got away. So Black November's jumped Ben by 2 seconds. Is that a different strategy, or is that Black November knowing a bit more than Ben what he's doing? Or is Ben not pitting again? Man, that might be a good reason behind it. I don't know what tyres Ben's gone onto. I can find out on the timing. So Ben Gallagher's gone on the super softs. So has Black November, so I'm presuming they'll both be pitting again at some point in this race. I think George is trying to stretch it to a one stop. Because we're on lap 7, and he probably could go another super soft to the end, to be fair. Tyres haven't degraded that much. But it all depends on their out laps and George's in laps and what kind of pit stop he has. It seems like Black November's jumped Ben by about, well, 2.5 seconds at this point. But I don't see George doing a messy lap on this point. He needs a good one. So I'm probably expecting him to come in between these two as he'll come into the pits now, I think. Or is he going to stretch it slightly more and then go faster at the end? I'm not sure. Let's see. He comes into the pits, he's done one extra lap, and that could be the difference, I think. Depending on what sort of lap that is, we'll never know what sort of lap that was. But he's in the pits now. Black November is coming around the final corner. Will George be taking the lead? We're still waiting. Black November sails past. George is still in the pits, and I think Ben is there. Look at him, it's very close, and it looks like Ben is George there with Mick. We're way in behind. So Black November takes the lead of the race on our screens. I mean, Fodbold could be leading for all I know, but Black November's leading at the minute at this pre-season race by 2 seconds to Ben, with 1 second back to George, and George will fancy his chances for sure, and then fresher tyres. He's got to go one less lap, and that could make a massive difference. We're not 100% sure. What tyres has George gone into as well? George has gone in the super softs as well. Mick's on the softs. Dylan's on the softs. The fastest lap is on the softs by Dylan as well. So what will these three be able to do? Is also damage could play a part in this, but no one's really catching Blackie at this point, and I don't think they will. It's going to be more later on when the burners come on. But Ben's struggling slightly behind Blackie there, and George is the one on the move. He's really come out quite aggressively, as he looks like he's going to try and make a move now on Big Ali. He's caught him unawares. Ben didn't get damaged, but George did, but he just about made squeeze through on Ben. He caught him unawares. Ben built really early, and he just dived it down the inside, and it's a sort of move you have to be making if you want to catch Blackie at this point. I mean, 3 seconds is quite a big gap, but George is taking his chances, and he needs to. With his teammate not doing particularly well, his teammate, it's not his teammate, Benny's not really his teammate, but let's say let's say Benny, for example, who's the other SLR person taken to the SLR member, let's say SLR Orange team driver taking part today, and the only SLR Blue part, well, Fodbold as well, obviously. We keep forgetting about Fodbold, to be honest. We don't know where he is. But George is on a charge, and he really is reeling in Black November. Buddy, don't eat your own sick. It's not very nice. You threw that out like 3 weeks ago. Don't eat it. I know you're hungry. But yeah, what I was saying now is George needs to really make a move. As Ben is dropping back all the time now. Dylan Curtin doesn't seem to be catching these three at all. He did a 54.6, so he did catch Ben a bit on the last lap by about 3 seconds, pretty much, there or thereabouts. And if he carries on like that, then obviously he'll catch Ben. And George, but depends what George can do. His lap isn't that bad this time around. Black November needs to be on it if he wants to win this race. And George has actually ran wide there, and that's going to allow Ben to close right up on George. He'll go from the front view of his car. You can see George all the time on this long straight. George has made a massive mistake, and that's going to allow Black November to get away. But it looks like George has been able to hold the position. But Black November, I must think his Christmas has come early. very early. It's only just gone, but a late Christmas present here for about November is now nearly 4 seconds clear of these two. As these two squabble over the back end of the podium. But obviously we don't know if Fodbold is actually winning the race. He could be. He could be getting Black November slipstream for all I know. But we don't know that. As we're going on to lap 10 now, 15. As George is a bit... Oh, look at him, he's all over the shop. And look at Ben, he's a lot more stable. And it looks like he's going to try and make that move. Down the inside he goes. And it looks like Ben has made the move on George Porridge, but George is going to have a go back on the straight again. And I think he's going to get him straight back, but oh, he's not leaving much room. Obviously George has got that little bit of a brake problem there. But these two are really going for it, as now it looks like Ben is going to be making that move as we see that Fodbold Fanon car yet again. And it looks like George is defending quite well into a corner. I don't know the name of any of them, unfortunately. I don't know if it's a real I don't think it is a real track, as George has gone to Narnia there. And that's going to allow Ben to go straight back past. But will Ben brake early this time? Will he learn his lesson? Because Black November's gone. Forget about him. As here goes George down the inside. Late as you like. I think Ben's learnt his lesson this time round. He broke a bit later. But George is going to get a massive amount of slipstream. Dougie, here. He's going to get a massive amount of slipstream here. Going into this right-hand corner. Down the inside goes George, but Ben, late as you like, around the outside, managed to keep the position, the Irishman, as George is now trying everything, every trick in the book. Down the inside into the last corner possibly, and it wasn't really on that time around. As we go onto the straight, will George be able to make that move? Is any battles further back? I don't think so. There's Mocky Mix and Dory, two teammates. I can't even go on board with Dory. Oh my god. Mocky Mix, you've broken my... Look, he's broken it. Raoul. My spectator's broken again. Okay, we're back. As these two are still at it. Obviously, it's the SLR Blue team against the Team Consistent team. This is the battle we expected, especially with the orange as well. But Benny hasn't performed this time round. Obviously, he hasn't got a lot of practicing, apparently. So I've heard from my sources. But Ben and, well, George and Benny are putting on a battle and a half. As Ben nearly sticks him in the wall. And round the outside goes George. And what a move that is. Ben really conservative on the brakes. And doesn't manage to get that position. Can George actually get away this time? I mean, he got a second away. He keeps going really late into that corner, whereas Ben keeps going for the slingshot. And it seems like he's going to get it this time around, but will he be able to get close enough? I don't think so, especially when he's trying around the inside. But he goes down the inside, and George is there, and he's forced him into the wall. And I hate to think that if there's a steward inquiry, Ben would be in fault for that. But that's given George a massive amount of damage, and that Dylan Curtin, out of absolutely nowhere, has caught these two. And he's going to get past them now, is he? No, not quite past George. But Ben, if I was him, I'd be giving the back the position, but, well, I wouldn't, but, you know, I get where he's coming from. His Curtin goes down the inside, and it doesn't look like he's going to make that move just yet. But George, all this damage he's got, it's only a matter of time. As it goes blue on blue, round the outside goes Curtin, and it looks like it's very close, but George manages to hold station for now, as he's doing a really good job, I've got to say, to defend. Obviously Ben put him in the wall earlier. As here goes Curtin round the outside. Oh, he's lost the car. But is George has enough firepower on his disposal to go right round the outside here? It'd be very tough order. Oh, look at that for a switchback. As he looks for it, but it just doesn't have the straight line speed. is maxing out in 6th gear. Round the outside he goes, late as you like on Dylan, and it looks like he's just going to run out of room, unfortunately for him. But it was a good fight from George, just very unfortunate in the end to not get that position on Dylan. Meanwhile, Ben's got off the road, but Black November is leading by a country mile. Who would have thought that Black November, of all people, would be leading this race? I mean, Fodbold could be winning by a mile. Don't get me wrong. As we've got Dorian Dorian the Zebra here, having a bit of a battle for the wooden spoon. Still waiting for Fodbold to move, you know. I'm pretty sure that's a glitch. But according to our thing, Black November's winning by a mile. As actually, George hasn't given up on the curtain battle yet. As Dylan's actually in the wall. Funny enough. Oh, George! Oh, George is just trying to fight for some space. He's like, move, curtain! Move the curtain out of the way. And it looks like George has managed to move the curtain slightly to get back past the curtain. But obviously Dylan and George aren't going to give this up lightly. There's lots of I'm presuming a bit of lag there, but doesn't seem to be much contact between these two. They seem very evenly matched at the minute, but Dylan's lap times have significantly dropped off when he found George. And now Ben Gallagher's managed to get 5 seconds up the road, and he's actually started to catch Black November a little bit as well on that last lap by about a second. So maybe it's not all out of the question, but I'm pretty sure Black November knows what he's doing. But his tyres, look at them tyres from Blackie, they're dying. He's using all his tyres up. I mean, look, they've been on them exact amount of time, and look at the difference in tyres. And you can tell that Ben has overfueled his car. Look at the difference in fuel. Same with George, he's overfueled. Whereas it's either they've overfueled or Black November's underfueled. Black November's got the same amount of fuel as nobody has that much fuel left except for Black November. So he's either pulled off a masterclass or Ben's bottled it. That could be literally it. He's overfueled it. But now Black November's tyres are struggling a bit. But when he gets on low fuel... But the curtain has managed to get past George for good. But Black November winning a race. I mean, who would have saw that one coming? Certainly not me. But 3 seconds is coming down very quickly. He's only got 2 laps left. But Ben is catching significantly. And I mean a lot. If he was bottling this now, Black November, oh my god, that gap. His tyres are gone. Look at where Ben is now. Oh my, this is going to be extremely close. With 2 laps to go. All that Black November has to do is keep it together. I mean, he could be going side by side with Fodbold for all I know. I mean, but it looks like he's dying out there. Like a dying stag. But Ben is giving it everything. He's going a lot quicker. But I don't think Black November are taking this down out of fight. Obviously we've got the sprint race, I forgot about that. I just thought this was it. But Black November is leading at the minute. With 1 lap to go. Well, one of a little bit of a lap to go. And we have no idea who's going to win. Could be the curtain yet. But Black November has a 2nd lead, which he had a 5-second lead at the beginning of the last lap. It's come down a lot. He did a 59.4, and Ben did Did a 57.0, so that came down 2 seconds. Will Black November be able to hold off? Well, that's your answer. The answer is no. Black November cannot hold off Ben Gallagher because he put it in the wall into turn 1. His tyres have gone. So Black November will not be winning this race, unfortunately, but Ben is now leading, but I hope Fodbold is, but I don't know. But it should end Ben 1, Black November 2, depending if Ben puts it in the wall or dies at some point in his lap. But can't say he hasn't deserved it, but yeah, he put it in a decent position. Got himself in a bit of a scrap he didn't need to be in, but in the end he looked after his tyres better than Black November did, and now he's leading the race. Obviously, Fodbold, we have no idea if he's leading the race because we've got this glitch where he's sat in the middle of the track, but he was on pole, was Fodbold, so we don't actually know. But looks like Ben might be winning the race. I'm not 100% now. But he's sprinted away from Black November since the start. Since he overtook him, he's gained 4 seconds on him this lap. That says how much he's struggling at the minute. But also he's got quite a lot of damage, to be fair to him. But so is the curtain, and Ben on my screen has won the race with Black November in second, Dylan Curtin in third, George gonna cross the line in fourth, and should have been much more for George there. Mick in fifth, Benny. Mick possibly in fifth if he doesn't die in the last corner. Benny in sixth. Mocky Mick seventh. The Zebra, I don't really know what happened to him. He was up there and then he just binned it somewhere. In eighth. Dory ninth. And then Fodbold, we have no idea. But so we're waiting for everybody to cross the line. Obviously this is the orange car that we're running this season. And unfortunately didn't really go as expected. I was waiting for the last few to finish. But the Zebra's been through the walls, it seems, looking at his car. Dory seems pretty clean, and Mockymix did. But yeah, it was a fantastic race, to be fair, between George and the Curtin and Ben. You know, there were plenty of battles in there, but it's a shame Fodbold, we couldn't actually see him. That's the line, and I'm presuming Fodbold is finished. Well, I'm sat here, waiting. Because he has finished. So, did he win? Oh, that's a cool one, because I don't know. Sprint race, anybody? Can't be Ben Gallagher one. Black November forgot about the sprint race, I think. We're doing the half race, the sprint race next. This is probably the most exciting one. This is where we reverse the grid, the finishing order. So we'll probably find out where Fodbold finished by this. I don't actually know where he finished. He didn't win though. He might have been second. For some reason Benny's put it at 7 laps. So it's 5 laps. So it's basically a 5-lap sprint race. And we'll see. Who finished where as well. Be really nice to know. Because I don't know where Fod finished. I couldn't tell you. We know Ben won. That's about it. No point telling me, Raoul. I mean, I'm not in charge. Dylan Curtin doesn't want a rolling start. Now hopefully I've set the grid, and then we'll figure out where actually Fodbold finished, and I can actually tell you. I mean, it'd be great. Come here, doggy. My dog was eating his own sick while in that commentary as well. I mean, that was horrific. Rah, 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 rah. Rah, 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 rah. Fod, if you actually listen to the stream, where did you finish? Rah, 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 rah. You gonna come on my knee? Hey, you're a big doggy. Come on then. Come on then. Hope you cool. He just wanna come on me. Come on then. Come on. Yeah, Paul. Oh, he doesn't want to come up. Come on then. Come on then. Come on then. Come on. Aww. Mwah. Come on then. Come on then, cuddle. Come on, doggy. He doesn't want to. No, come. I'll encourage him. Come on. Come on then. He's an awkward dog, my dog. He doesn't want to. I just want him to sit on me. Come on then. Can him. Yeah, buddy. He's coming now. Come on. Come on then. Come on then. Come on. Mm. Got him up now. Hello. There is all. My doggy. Oh. Yes. Hello. Mm. Mm. wee. Dinner. Yeah, you're waiting for your dinner, aren't you? I'm waiting for mine and all. Gotta wait for this bastard sprint race to start, ain't I? Who's Ericsson? Who is Ericsson? He doesn't even know. Can we start? It's on the grid. Oh, Ben, Blicky. So Fodbold failed apparently. Ben. So I think Fodbold will win, but we'll never know, will we? Well, that was a disaster for him then. After getting pole. Just wait until we start. I've been for half past to get some sleep. I'll put my phone on charge actually. But that's dying. I ain't charged it all day and it's still 24%. Oh. These camera reviews are amazing. I mean, look at this. GT Sport cutting edge camera reviews, for God's sake. Woo. He's put Dylan ahead of him. Right, I think we should be starting soon, hopefully, in the next 10 seconds or so. Would be lovely to wait forever. Start. Thank you, Benny. But I pissed my pants. I remember why I hate GT commentaries now. It just took Mick. Oh wow. Watch Fodbold, see if he actually moves this time. I'm not holding out much hope. Huh? Nope, Fodbold, unfortunately, we will not be watching you at all because you're doing nothing. You've got the fap in you. Well, anyway, we've got Dory on pole, and he's away we go, I suppose. Zebra second, Mocky makes in P3 with Benny 4, Mick 5, George in 6th, well 7th I suppose, Dylan in 8th, Blackie 9th, and then Ben into Black November's actually going to win that race. But it looks like Benny's got all over the shop already, and here goes Mick, and here goes. Oh, well, George went in a bit quick there, but here goes Mick, and it looks like Mick, I think behind Dylan Curtin's having a bit of a ding dong, but Ben is keeping it nice and clean with no one near him, and here goes George on Mick, and Mick's just going to go backwards with the slipstream train, and here goes Dylan on George. They're resuming their rivalry. Will George manage to hold it around the outside? And I've got to say that was very close, and here goes Benny in the wall, I think it is. He's sliding all over the show. And it looks like that's Black November making the move on Mick there. And Ben is still in last. So that's very concerning for him, as George is trying to make that move on Benny. And he has, and there's Dylan Curtin having a Dino mocking mix, I think. And George has managed to get past the curtain. And here goes down the inside of Thingy, of Mocky Mix. So that's George up into 4th, I think. Or 3rd. I think there's only Zebra and Dory's actually leading by... actually Zebra is falling back behind George and Mocky Mix. So we don't actually know who's leading. I know Dory's leading by a bit. And then I think it's George in 2nd. He's lost the car! And George, and that's his race ended with an engine damage, and that is not the way he wants to start this league, I'm pretty sure, on his return. But Dory is leading with 1-2 with Mocky Meeks. I think Benny's in 3rd. The curtain is looking at Benny at the minute, as my standings aren't updating for some reason. So I'm going to have to filter through the field, tell you what's going on. But it's a 1-2 with Mocky Meeks at the minute. And there goes Black November with his 2-second penalty. Looking at the curtain. My dog is destroying my bed. That's really annoying me. But here goes the curtain on Benny, and the curtain dove in. And I think that it's only a matter of time before Black November gets both of these two. I think it's just a bit too quick at this point. And here goes Black November down to the inside of the curtain. And he manages to keep him out of trouble. I think it is updating actually. It can't be, but here goes the curtain on Benny. And it looks like Benny has got that position back. But it's very hard to tell. But Black November and Ben's got a grandstand view. So I don't actually know who's where at this point. And I think Black November's made contact with the curtain there. And Ben's managed to sneak past. And here goes Ben on everybody. And he sneaked back past Benny there. But will Benny be able to get past Ben? And it doesn't look like that's the case. The Zebra is apparently still in 2nd. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to exit and then go back in again. See if that makes a difference. Oh god. That definitely made a difference. What is wrong with this game? It won't update the standings. It's really weird. I think Dory's leading there. Who's in 2nd? Mocky Mix is in 2nd. With Ben in 3rd. And then Dylan in 4th, Blackie in 5th. And then the Zebra, I think. Or is it Benny? No, it's Benny, then the Zebra. And then it's Mick. So we're trying to figure out who's where. It says the Zebra's in 3rd, but he's definitely not in 3rd. But November's trying to make a move on the curtain. And these two have been together all race pretty much. Looks like Dylan has kept that move for now on Blackie. We've got a wild Fodbold. I mean, Fodbold could be winning this race by a country mile for all I know. I mean, I don't know. I've got to say, I'll have a look if there's anything in the chat. That usually can tell me. No one said anything, so. Here goes Zebra and Mick. Is there anything further up the field? Except for George, everyone's together apparently. Mocky Mix looks like he's going to make a move on Dory fairly soon. Dory, he hasn't got any damage, I don't think. Mocky Mix hasn't either. Apparently I'm on lap 1 as well. I mean, this has been nothing short of a disaster. I don't really know what's going on. And it's not just Benny's internet, it's anything. It's a game at the minute. I don't understand why we're still on lap 1 when we really ain't on lap 1 either. I don't know what lap we're on. Could be at last lap for all I know. But the graphics aren't right. Fodbold's sat there doing nothing on my screen. It's a bit confusing. But I know that Dory is leading, on my screen anyway. With Mocky Meeks in second. And these two are pretty comfortable in that position as well. So I can only think there's someone else here as well, but as in Fodbold, but I don't know that. I'm presuming this might be the last lap, or is it? Are we close to the last lap? Who knows? Says Dory's in the wall again. Still no damage. Where's Ben? Ben is behind these two, so he's catching at a rapid rate. So how long can these two just keep trundling around? To be fair, Dory's tyres are better than Ben's, though, isn't it? Walker's is fairly similar. But November's had a bit of an issue. Because the curtain, imagine the curtain's not that much in front. And they're them two battling. Fair, he hasn't had that much of an issue. The Zebra's in his own battle with Benny there. And Mick's back there. But Ben is really catching these two, so there'll be a three-way battle for the lead on our screen, even though it's a 2nd, 5th and 10th. That's not true. George has set the fastest lap, but he's last by a mile. I think he's a lap down actually as well. But is this the last lap? Or is it not? As Ben goes to the line, and that was the last lap, and it's a Dory Mocky Mix 1-2 on our screen. Anyway, we don't actually know that, but well done Dory if he wins. I mean, that would have been a big surprise for anybody. Mocky Mix 2nd, Ben 3rd, Dylan 4th, Blackie 5th, Benny 6th. So it's updating now for some reason. Zebra 7th, Mick 8th. I'm presuming, well, George will come in 9th on my screen, but Fodbold is somewhere in that lot. He might have won. That's for all I know. But George comes home with his engine damage in P9, probably P10. But well done to everyone that turned up. I mean, we're at 10 of 15, so we've got another 5 drivers not here tonight, but Yeah, this was pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie, but who won? That's the question. It'd be all. Who? I still don't know who won. Oh, so Dorian Mocking's actually to go on to. What happened to Fodbold? I don't get it. Like. So Fodbold and George binned it. You bottle jobs. Well, anyway, whatever this is, it was a pretty disastrous stream. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I didn't know what was going on, how the hell are you lot meant to know what's going on? I don't know. I'm kind of hoping next week will be better. I won't be here next week. I will be streaming next week because I'll be doing the Bathurst 12-hour race on iRacing. So I will be here, but the Tier 2 stream will be up on our YouTube channel as well. I think Stewie streamed it live. I don't know. I don't know if he did it like this or not. We'll find out. Or I'll just have to make a video of it. But next week's race will be in video form rather than this. So hopefully we can get close to a full grid. 15 drivers is our full grid, obviously. And yeah, I'll see you in a few weeks, I think. So, ciao.